Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video. Thank you so much for choosing your time to spend with me and watch this video. Today we will work on something I think it's very special. I did have two requests. I had requests for Folio, so this is what we will make today. But I also received, I wouldn't say request, but someone asked me to make a box. Now, it just happens that one of my subscribers, somebody from our MaKala family, they will have a birthday in March and they are also retiring in March. So I thought what a great idea it would be to make it folio and make a box for the folio. So this is for you and you know who you are. So today we are making a folio. I chose this paper because I thought of retirement and I think the paper is just perfect for it with the globe. I don't know what is in a plan for retirement, but I thought let me choose something that I think it would make sense for retirement. So this is the folio we will be making. It opens with the Velcro. It has a lot of packets. Here is one packet for notes, whatever you want. You can place your picture. In here is just the flap, little closure with the little packet on the back. The closure is with magnets. So when you open it, you can put your pictures in here or little notes, whatever you like, and it opens this way. So you can put more pictures. There is another page with also little packet on the side, so you can put more pictures, and the same thing in here. On the next page we also have a little tuck-in packet. On this page there is a little band that actually closes the pages, so you can slide the band and open your pages. You can remove the band if that's what you like and open the pages. Here is the space for big picture. On the next page we have little packet in here which is holding the window closed. You got more room for maybe little notes, picture. We got packet on this side. When you open the packet, when you open the page, you can open additional pages for more pictures. This also closes with the magnet. And here is the last page. So this one was created because if you have something smaller, you can put it here. You can put smaller pictures on the front, bigger pictures or notes on the back. And then you have packet also on this side. This is more for a notes. I could have created packet in here, just glue 3 sides, but I did not. Now every page, it also has a space in here, so you can actually put more pictures in there or create another fold over piece and put it inside. So I think this folio has plenty of room for you to store the pictures. So after the tutorial how to make this album, we will make a box for it. So I hope you enjoy what's coming your way. So for this project, we will need chipboard. We will need one piece 2 by 8.5 and two pieces 6 by 8.5. We will also need two pieces of cardstock 12 by 12, and we will pre-cut this to size. So I will cut both pieces at 10.5. And the height, where is 10.5, we will glue those two pieces together. Just like that. And now I will position the chipboard. We're gonna leave approximately 1 inch space on 3 sides. The second piece, which is the spine, will be positioned about 1/8 of an inch from the cover. And then the third piece, also approximately 1/8 of an inch from the cover. Now you can see that the joint is going to come up just about halfway of this piece, which is perfectly fine. And now we will glue all these pieces as they are. So I will start this one with this one. Just like that. And now we will glue the front and the back. And we will leave approximately 1/8 of an inch space. I will put the spatula on the bottom just to make sure I'm gluing this straight. And I will do the same thing with this side. I would just glue it just like that. Okay, I got all my pieces glued, and I did trim the excess of the paper on this side. I left approximately 1 inch of paper. So now we will score all around. And we will run our spatula around the edges to make that really nice and crisp edge. Just like that. And now we will miter the corners. We leave a little bit of cardstock right here, so when we wrap the paper around the cover, that we won't see the chipboard. Just like that. And now we will glue all sides to the chipboard. Okay, I will glue all other 3 sides and I will be right back. Okay, so I did glue the cover, and now I will run spatula right here in between the chipboard. Don't push it too hard, just work it a little bit. You don't want to break that cardstock. So just like that, And now you can see we can fold that, and here is our cover. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on covering the spine and creating place for 3 pages. To do that, we need to cut our cardstock to 7 inches by 8 1/4. Now the 7 inches that you can see in here on the top, we will score at 1 inch, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, and 6. So now we will fold all our scores, and I'm folding every second one for now. Okay, and now the other score we're gonna fold the opposite way. So what we want to create, we want to create this, and that will be the startup of our page. So that's a third thick cardstock, but I did want to use the thick cardstock because I do want to make sure that this is nice and sturdy. Okay, so now we did our folds, and this is how this looks like. See, so here are 3 hour pages. So now from the opposite side, we will glue them together. Just like this, and I don't know what's happening with my glue. It's just spilling all over the place. So we will glue the first one, just like that. Now we're gonna work, it's opening, it has to dry. Just like that. So now we're gonna glue this one and this one, just like this, both of them. Okay, so I will do this off camera. Okay, so I got my piece glued, and this is how it looks. So you got 1 inch and a score, 1/2 inch and a page, 1/2 inch and a page, 1/2 inch and a page, then you have 1/2 inch, score, and 1 inch. So now if you would lay this right on the top of your cover, you can see that those scores are pretty much matching over here, and that's our guide how to glue those. So now before we do anything, this portion where the page is gonna be, we will trim it just a little bit. On one side. So we are creating this little wedge. And on the opposite side. it will be just a little bit easier for us to slide the pages. Just like that. So, I don't know if you can see it. Here is the little wedge right here. So now I'm gonna glue this whole piece, and I will start maybe with the middle part and make sure we got enough glue that this whole thing really sticks. And this glue is really drying so fast. So just like that, I'm gonna position according to the scores on the side. I will take my bone folder to make sure that everything adheres well. Just like that. And then I go on the inside. I want to make sure this is all stuck. And I do the same thing to this one. Just push it down, go across. Now it all should be nicely stuck. And I will just leave this for a minute or so, just to make sure that the glue cures and it's not giving us hard time later on. So I will be right back. Okay, so these are glued and stuck. So now we're gonna work on the pages. To create the pages, we will need to cut 6 pieces of cardstock, and we're gonna cut them to 8 7/8 by 5 1/2. Okay, I have 6 of them cut. And now we will score every piece at 1/2 inch only on one side. So now we will fold the scores. Okay, so now we have 6 of them. So we're gonna take 3 and 3. Just like that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take one of them. We're gonna apply the glue. Let me take a smaller bottle. We're gonna apply the glue right here. We're gonna take this piece and make sure that you apply the correct way. So I'm gonna glue them just like that. So you see, we glued this side. And now we're gonna fold this, apply the glue, and glue the other side on the top of it. So this is what we are creating, this little like a pocket. Okay, we're gonna fold this over, match this up, and now when you try to close it, try to make sure that your edges are nice and straight. And this is what we just created, little packet. So you see the second one, we're gonna do the same thing. You see this flap goes this way, so this one will go the opposite way, just like that. I hope you can see it. This is the flap, we're gonna glue it like this. This is the flap, and we're gonna glue it like that. And we're gonna do this to all 3 pages. Okay, I do have 3 pages done. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna open them up and we're gonna glue them just like that onto those page starters, as I call them. So what we're gonna do, I am gonna position them just like that, position the first one in place, and I'm trying to make sure that that this is even. So when I fold this over just like this, I probably want to leave it just a little bit of space, maybe 1/8. I won't glue it all the way to the bottom, and I don't know if you can see it, there's just a little bit tiny space. So when I position this, I apply glue right underneath, and then we will just squish it to make sure that the glue adheres. Just like that. We can turn it to the other side and squish it. And here's our one side done. So I will do the same thing to this side. I just apply the glue on the inside of that packet. And let's squish this. Let's make sure that this adheres. Just like that. And here is our first packet done. And I will do the same thing to the other 2, but I will do that off camera. Okay, so my pages are glued. So now we will decorate the back side of the front, and we will decorate the back side, this side of the back of our folio. I chose to use this cardstock by Recollection. I think I bought this one last year from Michael's. So I hope you can still find it if this is what you want to make. But it has, I think, interesting paper. It's a little bit on the darker side, but I think it's really interesting, and we can make really, really nice folio with this. So I think I'm gonna use this one for the back. And this one for the front. Okay. Okay, so this one will be for this side, and this one will be for the back. So we need to cut this. And I will need 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. And the same thing with this one. Five 3/4 by 8 1/4. Now I do want to glue these first because of this cover. Right now when I'm working with that and I'm trying to close it, it kind of hits this. So this is the reason why I want to cover those sides first. I am gonna glue this just like that, approximately 1/8 of an inch space all around. So I will glue this one and I will glue this one on the back, and I will be right back. Okay, so now we will work on this page. So I do have piece left from whatever we cut. I do have a piece left that measures 4 inches by 8 1/2. And I will pre-cut this to 7 1/2. We will score this piece the long way. We will score it at half, and we will also score it at 3/4. So now we're gonna fold over our scores. Just like that. I want to make little spine on this side. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna glue this just like that. So let me apply the glue. And we're gonna glue it on the middle, but I'm trying to line up with the beginning of the page, just like that. So now we created one layer. When we open this up, we're gonna create additional pages going up and going down. And for that, we will need to cut more cardstock. So the page is 5 1/2. We will cut the cardstock at 5 inches and 5 inches. So we need 2 pieces. We will score them at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch and 4 and 5/8. Oops. I just broke my scoring tool. And we will do the same thing to the other piece. 1/2 inch and 4 5/8. So now we fold the scores. And we will glue these just like that to the top of the page. One here and one here. So let's do that. I'm gonna put something underneath so you can see. So now we're gonna put the glue right here. And I am gonna line up on the middle of that page all the way on the bottom. So you can see here is the page and here is the piece we are gluing. So let's make sure this is all stuck. Just like that. And we will do the same thing to the other piece. Let me just score this better. So I will apply glue right here. Now when I position this one, you want to position it also towards the bottom, but you also pay attention to make sure that the sides are even on both sides. So now I will just run the tool. Let's make sure this is all stuck. So we just create that additional space for the pictures. So now I'm planning to apply some magnets in here. Now I do have magnets and they are about 3/8 of an inch wide and about 1 millimeter high. And for that I will use double-sided tape. So I will apply magnet on this piece first, making sure that when I close it, it will actually grab it. But you don't want to apply too close to the edge. You should apply it approximately 1/2 inch from the edge, because when we apply our decorative paper on this side, you want to make sure that you are able to glue all around it. So we will apply second magnet. In here. And I like to apply magnets at this point because otherwise I will forget. I will cover everything with paper and I will forget that I need to apply magnet there. So now let's do this. Just like that. And now when I close, the magnet should adhere. So this way I know I won't forget to apply the magnets later on. So as you can see, we got nice closure in here. And we will make additional page that you can close from this side. So let's measure from the score to the end. It's not quite 5.5 inches. So we will cut the stack to 5.5 by 7.5. So 5.5 by 7.5. And we will score it the long way. We will score at 1/2 inch. We will fold this over. And we will glue it just like that on the middle, but I will angle the edges a little bit because I don't want to create too much bulk right here. So actually this one I can angle a little more. So now I will apply glue right here. And I will try to position this on the middle, but also at the edge of the page itself. So let's make sure this is stuck. Okay. So now, as you can see, we created additional layers. So this page, I am going to leave it blank because we have to be careful how much bulk we are adding to this whole entire folio. So we will work on this side. For this side, which is also 5.5, we will cut additional cardstock. And we will cut at 5 inches. We will also cut 2 of them. And this way we have I am gonna cut this down. It's a little bit more than 8.5. So I'm gonna cut this down to 8.5. And we will score. And we will score at 1/2 inch. and 4 5/8. And we will do the same thing to the other piece. 1/2 inch and 4 5/8. So we will fold it over. Now I am gonna trim those angles a little bit, just not to create too much bulk when we are gluing this. And this page will be similar to what we have done in here, but the finishing, it's gonna be a little bit different. So I am gonna apply the glue, and I'm gonna position this towards the bottom, and I try to position this on the middle. So I want this edge to match end of this card or this page. So now let's make sure this is stuck, and we will do the same thing on the opposite side. Now again, when we are doing this, we need to make sure that it is on the middle, but also even with the page below. That's why I have this open. It's like a guide for me how to glue this to make sure that it's nicely overlapping. So now that's our next page. And we will create something a little bit different in here. So this stays closed. So now we will work on the next 2 pages. So this page, for now, I'm gonna leave it alone, just the way it is, and we will work on this one. And this one, we're gonna pretty much mimic whatever we have done in here. So we're gonna cut paper 8 inches by 5, and we will cut 2 of them. So 8 inches by 5.5. And it seems like I have another 8 by 5.5 left. So this will do. And actually, since we have this out, we will cut another 5 inches, 5.5. And this one is also 5, a little bit more than 5.5. So let me trim this. And we need this 8.5. So we will trim it this way. So now this is 5.5 by 8, and we will score at 1/2 inch both pieces. And those two pieces are 8.5 by 5.5, and actually I need them by 5. So I will just cut them down to 5. So these we will score at half and 4 5/8, half, 4 5/8, and we will fold all our scores. Okay. The half-inch score from the front, from the edge to the half-inch score, we will just cut it in an angle, all of the pieces, just to eliminate some of the bulk when we actually glue all those parts together. Just like that. And I am cutting. You can see the trims, they are nice, and this is really nice angle. This is empty piece. So now again, so you can see what I'm doing. I am gonna put something light right here. So we're gonna glue the tall pieces. We're gonna glue them on both sides. Just like this. I'm trying to position this on the middle of the page, but this side I'm trying to match where the page actually ends. So let's make sure this is stuck. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. I'm gonna glue it just like that on the middle, making sure when I close this piece, they are all nice and even. So let me turn this. Approximately middle of the piece of the page. When I close it, it's straight on both sides. They all meet beautifully. So now let's make sure we got this nice crease. And now those two pages, we will glue it just like that in here. Now, before you glue them, try to match them up with the paper to see if you gotta increase this angle on either side, because you do not want this additional bulk. So I am just gonna glue this just like that, and I'm trying to match up right here the edge of the card so everything is nice and straight. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. So now I'm trying to position this even with the top, so when you close them they are matching up nicely. Okay, and during this process I changed my mind, and we will make this a little bit different. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use additional magnets right here just to keep this all closed. So we will need additional 4. And we will also use the tape. So I'm going to position 1 in here, 1 in here, okay. So now when we close it, here are our magnets. So now we will be working on the last page, and for that we will pre-cut some more cardstock. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut 6 inches wide, so I'm using some leftovers from the pieces that I had cut already. So 6 inches by 3.5. Now we got this piece left, which is 6 inches by 2, which we will use. And I'm gonna cut this one down to 6 inches by 1.5. So what we have, all 3 pieces are 6 inches wide. Now this one is 3.5. This one is 2 1/8, and this one is 1.5. So the largest piece we will score at 1/2 inch. We will turn 1/2 inch, we will turn to the other side and 1/2 inch. So for this piece you got score here, here, and here only. Then we have the 2-inch piece, 2 1/8. So score at 1/2, turn to the other side, score at 1/2. And this piece we do the same thing, 1/2 on the other side and 1/2. So we will fold over those pieces just like that. Let's make sure that we got those nice creases. Now on all these pieces we will also cut from the score to the end a little wedge, and that's because when we glue these pieces we don't want to see anything sticking out on the side. So just from the score to the end of the piece, just like that. Now in here on the bottom we're gonna cut straight across past that corner, just like that. So we will use all these pieces right here on this page. But before we glue them, we need to decorate this sheet first. So I will use the same paper as I have it in here. And we're gonna pre-cut two. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/4. So we're gonna cut to 5 1/4 by 8. Five 1/4 by 8. So what I'm gonna do, I don't like this cut, but I'm gonna use some of that distress ink that I have. I just don't want to see this white. And you can do this all around if you like. And maybe I do that since I have it out. Okay, so I will glue this just like that. Okay, we are keeping approximately 1/8 of an inch border all around. And now let's see how that's gonna look. I want layers. So that's here and that's here, and I think it's a little bit too high. I will have to cut down this piece just a little bit. So right now we have 3 inches I will cut this down another ½ inch. So we will end up with the piece 2½ inches. And let me trim those corners. So now I want to glue this just like that, with leaving a little bit of that brown trim around it. I think it just gives that extra look. So we will apply glue on all 3 sides. And we will glue it just like that. Okay. So now we got 2 pieces left. This one is wider than this one, so we're going to apply this one next, leaving approximately 1/8 of an inch space in between. Just like that. And now this piece will go right here. Okay, this page is done, and basically I wanted to create this because if you have different size mats, you're going to be able to place them, see, in layers. So this is the reason why I wanted to create those packets. So now we have just about the entire structure of our folio done. Now for this side in here, I want to create a bend. So we have some of the pieces left, and those are leftover pieces from the packets that we created, and I want to use, I'm going to need probably 2 of them to create piece for here. So what we need to do, the page in here is 5 inches. So what I'm gonna do, okay, this cardstock is 8 3/4, and those dimensions really do not matter. And to make it easy, I think I'm gonna make the first score at 2 inches. And we know that our page is 5. So here is 7, 2 and 5, it's 7. And we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna score at 7 1/8. Just like that. So now I want to try to make sure that it fits, and it does. Now the score, I want it to be a little bit wider. take the scoring board back. I'm gonna align my score in here, and I'm gonna make another score just 1/8 of an inch towards the side, you see? So now when I fold this score, I'm creating a little bit of that space right here to capture the pages. See? So when I go to the other side, I'm also lining up my score right here. That's where the score is. And now I'm gonna score just 1/8 of an inch towards the other side to create that step. So now when you fold, you see that step. So from this point, we know that this will grab the page and it's moving freely, and that's good, because if you put any pictures or any of those panels and we add additional bulk, you don't want this to be too snug. But the back is open, so we need to add another layer of paper to cover the back. So this is 5 inches. We need to cut this a little bit smaller. I'm gonna cut it 4. Just like that. And I'm gonna glue it on top in here. Now, because the width of those two pieces is about the same, I am gonna trim it this way just a little bit. Maybe 1/18 of an inch. So when I actually glue this together, I don't have anything sticking out on the other side. And I think I am gonna cut these corners just on a little bit of an angle. Just like that. And now I will apply glue over here on both sides. And I will do this just like that. Okay, now we got our little band. So we can put this band in here. And now we can slide the band, and this is what will hold our pages together. So now this whole piece is done. Now we will have to decorate. And I think we're gonna decorate that in the next video. This video seems to be a little bit long, so I think we're gonna have to break it up into 2 portions. And in the next video you will see how we can finish this project. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, I would really appreciate if you would comment, like, share and subscribe. That would be really very helpful to me and growth of my channel. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.